Hi, I'm Tiffany Brown-Bush, and I want to welcome you to day 11 of the 14 days of fat loss. And today we are talking about leptin, the hormone leptin, and the hormone ghrelin, or ghrelin. So I will say ghrelin the rest of this video, but you may hear different pronunciations of the word. And these are additional hormones that are key players in this whole fat loss journey that we've been working on for this series. And again, I hope this has been helpful. I've really enjoyed pulling all this information together and having this series. It will be available on the website, on the FRL Diva Protein Bars website blog, and on YouTube in a playlist. So we talked about, in my 10-minute video yesterday, candida and insulin, which are just big players in the fat loss journey, and I really wanted to speak about those. It's one of my favorite topics to look at because I just find it rippling and showing up with my clients. So now let's talk about your experience of hunger, because hunger is a really important part of being able to lose weight, being able to lose fat, right? And people will say to me, well, you know, I don't get to eat enough, and I can't stay full when I try to eat healthy and eat all that food that you eat, you know, when you're trying to lose weight and things like that. And there's a really negative experience around it. It's full of deprivation and with, you know, feeling limited, and it's not an enjoyable experience. And what's important to understand is how to control the hormones that are around hunger and feeling satisfied. And also understanding that just like insulin resistance, there can become a point where you are resistant to fullness cues in your own body. And it's very much tied into the production of sugar in the body and insulin resistance in the body, okay? So you have the hormone ghrelin, and it's the one that cues you to eat. It tells you that you're hungry. Anywhere from 2 to 6 hours between a meal, you're going to experience hunger cues. You're going to get an emptiness in your belly. You're going to maybe feel a little lightheaded. You may salivate a little bit, and that's because of the response that the body has to that hormone being released, okay? Now, I will say this, and I coach this. I do not believe that hunger is an emergency. We have fasted as human beings all the time. We choose to do so for religious purposes even, and it's not eating for a certain period of time is not going to hurt anyone. If you have dysglycemia and have some issues going on with your blood sugar, then perhaps, but most people just have psychological attachments to eating at a certain time, and you can ride out not eating and fasting for a period of time, or going an extra 30 minutes to an hour without eating and allowing your body to actually tap into fat, okay? Now, fullness. What will happen is there's nothing wrong with ghrelin. Ghrelin, I just explained to you kind of what you can do with it when it activates hunger for you. The opposing hormone to ghrelin is leptin, because if all you had was ghrelin and all you ever dealt with was the fact that you were hungry and nothing ever turned that off, you would just keep eating. And we're actually having a problem with that in our society. Is people are becoming leptin resistant. So leptin should tell you that you're full. It's the hormone that releases that says stop eating. It communicates to your brain, we've got enough here, or we actually have enough fat on board, or we don't need any more food. Because of how we can be over fat, meaning having too much fat on the body, overeat, be insulin resistant, insulin blocks in the brain the awareness that leptin is signaling that there's fullness, right? So from yesterday, we talked about insulin in the brain. Insulin can block the communication from leptin. So there's that piece of this, of your brain not being able to even communicate with your body to stop you from eating, to say you have enough. But because people who carry a lot of fat are going to have a lot of leptin communication to the brain, what can happen is over time, the brain is resistant to that. It starts ignoring it. It can't hear it. So there's not a sensitivity to the communication around leptin. So what can end up happening is people who are obese, morbidly obese, or just carrying too much fat, even overweight, can be leptin resistant and be missing the cues. And though they have enough resources on board to lose fat, they're always hungry. They always are needing more food. They're on a meal plan and it's just not enough, and it's just, you know, I'm underfed. And they're really believing that. Okay, so how do you become leptin sensitive? And I think that's the big takeaways here. You need to have more fiber in your diet, right? Things that make you feel full and satisfied are going to help really cue that leptin communication. And the other thing is it will make you more insulin sensitive, right? So we're now pulling the blood sugars down and we're becoming more insulin sensitive. So high fiber meal planning is with bulky foods will make it so that your stomach is communicating, oh, I'm full and I don't need any more food. High intensity exercise that keeps showing up, right? Getting lots of sleep, drinking lots of water, all of these things will help you to be more leptin sensitive. So a lot of the same things that I said before, but what you want to realize is maybe what's out of whack by what your symptoms are. Like, so what's showing up for you is a problem. Okay, if it's lots of hunger, then you might not be as leptin sensitive, right? If you're not very hungry but you're struggling with fat loss, then we're back over in insulin resistance. So working whatever's going on with your body. All right, hopefully today was helpful. I'm gonna jump off, and tomorrow we're gonna get into set point and looking at the thyroid hormones and understanding that they control a lot of things when it comes to fat loss. And so until then, I want you to stay fierce, fabulous, and fit for life, and I will see you then.